Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Hold on a second while I wait on YouTube, make sure we're all good. But yeah, tonight we're here with a little bit of an impromptu stream session. Wasn't exactly planning to be doing anything. I kind of set this together like last second. Yesterday I had plans to, after I got done, I had plans to like relax and do whatever, but yeah, here we are. So, what's up everybody? Hope you're all doing well. This is going to be the average 2-hour stream, or 2.5 hour, stream, and then we're done after that. Wanted to do a little bit of shiny hunting. I'm hoping we can get this shiny Regice out of the way and hopefully collected before 2021 hits. I just want this shiny really badly. I don't want a repeat of last year with Applin where we didn't get anything and took till ended in 2020. Yeah, it's end of 2020 to get it, I think. Hard to believe this game's like about a year old now. Does not feel like it. At least I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. It feels surreal. Let's see, I have a lot on my mind right now. I've been not really doing a whole lot today. I spent part of my day just doing whatever, relaxing. This was going to be like a last minute thing I did and streamed a bit to try and just see how this goes. Like I said, I didn't plan it. I have a big stream planned for tomorrow. I still don't know how things are going to go exactly because I have only got a like border idea of how I want to handle things. I've got a lot of stuff I want to do. For starters, I'm trying to look into like some specialty games. There's like practically nothing when it comes to actual New Year's games I've found. I looked online and I looked on like a few things and I couldn't find anything that's like an actual proper result for New Year's, so ended up giving up on the idea of like specifically New Year's games really quickly. Hey Zachary, good to see you. Welcome to stream. Glad you can make it. Like I think I went on itch.io and I searched it. All I found was something like somebody made like a fireworks thing or whatever, and it's like, this isn't what I mean when I say a New Year's game. I guess I should clarify a little bit what I'm talking about. You guys know about these kind of games where it's like, you see like a party going on or whatever, you'll see like celebration, you'll see like a bunch of characters getting together or whatever, they'll be talking about stuff, and sometimes even like outright a new year or whatever, and you just like celebrate, or you see like a new year and then you see something happen afterwards. That's what I was thinking for doing for something special for New Year's, and I couldn't find any kind of game that kind of symbolized that. All I could think was maybe Mario Party for a New Year's stream tomorrow, and I couldn't even find anything for that really fit what I wanted. I've got some stuff in mind though. I actually have been looking at some stuff, and I might do some Super Mario Party maybe, because I haven't played it in a long while, and I wouldn't be against doing some more Mario Party at some point, so the idea of playing Mario Party on stream might be pretty fun. I'll give you guys a bit of an idea of what I've been thinking of doing, though, for the stream. I think it's fine to talk about it a little bit and, like, discuss what I want to do. Let's see, right. Oh, I'm sure some of you guys have already seen while I was on Discord, because I was, like, testing some stuff. I went on my Project 64 to set up like for some stream stuff. I've been downloading some Mario 64 hacks, I'll put it that way, and I've been testing them for like a stream, so I wanted to do like an assortment of Mario ROM hacks, because I thought, well, I want to do something for New Year's, even if it's not anything too special, and hopefully I'm going to, because I might just stick to shiny hunting if we don't get any results on this, and I might try to focus on trying to actually get an end to this. But like I was saying, I've got some Mario ROM hacks together. I want to play them on stream because I couldn't find anything better, and I thought, this would be a fun little thing to do for tomorrow. Play some assorted stuff by Kaze or whatever, and then just like see how everybody feels about it. I don't know how much it'll be. May not be a very long stream. I've got 2 together, and I had a third one. I could not get used to it at all And I'm having a little bit of trouble finding, like, decent ROM hacks that aren't, like, big in size or not too small, but I found some that are decent. Like, I know about Waluigi's Taco Stand. I downloaded that out of, like, purely finding that interesting, despite only being, like, 20 or 15 minutes long. I thought that'd be a fun little goofy ROM hack to play for a little bit, and found something called Captain Toad 64. The only problem with this is it seems like it's maybe 5 minutes in length, so that's not going to last us a whole long if it's only taking like 5 minutes to beat it. The other one is an interesting ROM hack, and I don't mind talking about it because this is going to be like something I'm not even streaming now, probably. I might like play it so you guys can get a look at it, but I found something, it's called like Womp's Easter Egg Hunt or something like that, and it is about as stupid as you would think it is. I tried playing it, and it's basically like he took the controls from Mario 64, redesigned them, and made it play like you're using a thwomp to move around. You have to fucking move like really carefully. You're much heavier. Your movement is worse, and trying to get anywhere is impossible. If you get stuck in an area, you're pretty much stuck. You aren't getting out. It's not like in other games where you've got good mobility. You can kind of work your way out of an area if you get stuck there. Like, this game's mobility seems a little bit too limited for that, so yeah, I gotta say that was something where I messed around with it for a little bit, and it turned into an immediate, yeah, fuck this game, I'm not gonna play it, so I've had to throw out one potential game for tomorrow, which kind of sucks a little bit. Oh well, it's not really a big deal. So how's everyone's day been going, and, well, really, how's everything going for everybody? Really just wanted to talk about stuff for a little bit. I didn't do much today. It was just a lazy day where I was planning to do nothing, and I wasn't planning on streaming. Like I said, I did this in the vain hope of getting a shiny today and putting in hours to try and get like a shiny hunt started again. I was started to get back into the shiny grind and try and hopefully get this Regice before 2020 was started. So, or not 2020, I'm 2021, yeah, bleh. You know what I mean. Outside of that, let's see. I guess I watched a little bit of Twitch, and I mostly spent the rest of the day watching Attack on Titan, catching up some more since I've been watching it. I haven't really had a lot of shows that I've been super invested in. There's some good stuff. I think I talked about one of them, that Jujutsu Kaisen show or whatever. That show's pretty good, but I noticed there's not a lot of episodes of it out right now, so I'm like sitting there waiting until they get more stuff released before I dive in and like deplete all the episodes that I want to watch. So rather than sitting there trying to painstakingly wait week by week, I'd rather give it more time. Attack on Titan has been getting interesting. I know about some of the plot twists and ahead of time, and I've got to say I'm like really curious to see where it's going. Like, I saw really weird, kind of creepy little teaser at the end of the last episode I watched. I haven't got to the season 4 stuff, but I've been finding that even though I kind of like didn't really happen to be super impressed with it, like every bit I've watched, the show feels like it's kind of evolved to be like more and more interesting and had a much deeper plot line than it shows on a surface level. It's really fascinating. Pretty good show overall. Maybe not my favorite, but I've been liking it quite a lot. Oh man. Let's see. Trying to think on anything to talk about. I mean, I think there's like, what was it? Stimulus checks? Yeah, those have been like, they started printing those, and apparently the final amount is going to be $600, which that's kind of disappointing to me. It's like, I think I saw like yesterday or whatever, where they were trying to see about raising the amount up to $2,000, and apparently the Senate decided they would veto it and not actually pass it. That makes me a little frustrated because there's like really no good reason to just turn it down. It's literally just them giving the middle finger to America right now just because they had the power to. I mean, I'm still going to use the money from the stimulus check to try and get stuff I need, obviously, and try to get something useful since I need a new cell phone, but that feels frustrating. Not really a big deal. Oh, actually, I almost forgot. This is just like something I was going to mention before and I didn't even think of it. There's like a live stream thing going on with like Pokemon tomorrow where there's like a like New Year's live stream or whatever it is. Like there's some live stream where they have it focused on space or something. I remember seeing this like off of Game Explain or whatever. Like I just suddenly found out about this. I don't know when, but I remember seeing it pop up in like their videos. I'm wondering what that's about, and I think it's like a 24-hour live stream. I have no idea though. Like I'm actually curious what that's going to be like. Anybody planning to watch that? I mean, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, but assuming we have any free time at all, I'm gonna like go over and look at it if we get like even a minute or two to like spare that I can go check and see what's going on with that, see if there's like an update. If I had to guess, I would assume it's probably something related to Diamond and Pearl. I mean, it makes sense that the games that had the focus of time and space would be perfect opportunity to try and put something space related up on YouTube and try and give some sort of weird little teaser out. I imagine we're going to have a lot of unique announcements with all the anniversaries next year too, like Pokemon's bound to have some big stuff. Thought I remembered something important about that, but I'm not really certain. It might have just been me misremembering. I thought I remembered seeing something on like the teaser, like about a certain Pokemon from Johto, and if that's the case, that could be implying that possibly might be getting another Let's Go game. I'm not saying that's the case, but I thought I remembered seeing something like a teaser that had like Cyndaquil or Chikorita, and it's like, if that's the case, then it kind of makes sense that that might be part of what they're doing with it. Another like easy correlation to make would be maybe Deoxys, since I'm pretty sure Deoxys is literally like the Pokemon that originated in outer space or whatever. When you get into Pokemon, like talk about like the lore stuff and talk about like where specific Pokemon come from, I feel like you get into some really, really interesting discussions. I kind of want to talk about that, but I mean, I might wait just a little bit before we dive into this big point I've been waiting to talk about for a little bit. Hang on a second, I'm going to check on something I wanted to check on just really, really quickly. Ugh. That's like, oh yeah, I next we can talk about content creators again. I was going to talk about that some more now and I forgot. I was talking about YouTube stuff yesterday and I wanted to talk about that. I mean, talk about that and a few other things. Speaking of content creators, it's not something that's a big deal, but I'm feeling a little bit worried about the state of the streams. I feel like, I don't know if anybody's is like, or I don't know how many people are still watching as regulars. I mean, I'm glad I still have some of you guys who tune in and check out the streams and watch and will hang out with me and chat, but like, I've noticed like, it seems like even some of the people that I'm used to seeing pop up haven't been coming by lately, and I'm a little concerned about that happening. I've thought about quitting, and the depression problem isn't exactly making it better, but like, somebody I've seen regularly in most of my streams, seems like I haven't seen them on any of the last few streams. Maybe they're just busy, but I've noticed somebody who is here talking pretty much all the time isn't here lately. It's probably just me worrying about nothing, but yeah, there's one person in particular that I see practically every day who's been gone from my streams lately, and it makes me wonder like what's going on. Not really a big deal, it's concerning though. I do like having people in the chat and chatting with people, and it feels like I don't really get to have that opportunity to discuss stuff with people often enough. Hey there, I'm fine, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. It's been some time actually. I don't know, hopefully I'm just being paranoid over nothing, but I don't know, man, it feels really, really rough thinking about that, and then seeing people gone or seeing nobody show up, and then just like nobody is active in the chat. It feels like I'm talking to nobody and just doing nothing sometimes, and that crap happens. It makes me feel like I'm streaming and then I'm not getting anywhere with it. It's not that I'm not trying, it's just that it feels like I'm talking to a wall at that point. I still try to do my best to streaming, though. Anyway, let's try to take the topic off of gloominess and for a little bit and talk about what I was talking about earlier. Talked about, like, YouTube content creators, and I didn't really get too far into my discussion that I was talking about, really talking about, like, talking points. Let's see, who all are some good, like, YouTubers that I haven't talked about, or, like, some people that you guys watch? I mentioned some of this and I didn't talk about it. I can remember, like, a few that I used to watch, too. One of which, it's a little bit depressing to talk about. I'm sorry, right now my fingers are fucking aching again, bothering me, even though this has been, like, a constant problem. Actually, before we get into this topic about YouTube stuff, like, I just went out to Walmart yesterday like I was planning to, because I was going to pick something up. I remembered that prescription thing I had or whatever for the whole thing for my hand, and I tried to go pick it up and found out I couldn't get the supply I needed from Walmart, and I had to go to, like, some medical supplies shop that I've actually never been to, so now I'm having to get a little bit of help from my family finding out where this place is, because I've never been to it once. Meanwhile, my hand has been acting up and aching like crazy and bothering me, like, every day I've been streaming, it feels like, and I'm kind of worried considering that it's feeling like there's an unnatural amount of aching and pain going on in my hand, and it's making me worry if something might be wrong with my hand. Like, it's just not normal seeing this kind of pain swell up in my hand over and over again. It makes me think maybe something in my hand is damaged or something, because it shouldn't be acting like this. Maybe once I get this shiny, I should take a resting point. I was already going to take a break, actually. Like, I thought about when I was doing Regice, because I wasn't feeling like I was getting where I'm feeling a little depressed. I thought about maybe taking a day off and then not really streaming for, like, an entire day at least, if not, like, longer. Maybe taking until January, because I wasn't getting anywhere, and then last day that I was planning to keep doing that before I nearly gave into an emotional overload, like, shiny ended up popping up, and I guess it kind of gave me back a little bit of my strength and keep fighting and keep going. I mean, I'm glad that happened, but if my hand's bothering me this bad, I guess it's probably better that I take a break over at some point instead of continually doing this, not really wasting more and more time on streaming. I do enjoy streaming, though. I do enjoy streaming for you guys, but it does suck when there's, like, nobody in the chat to talk to. It feels like it's just lonely, and feels like, I don't know, it just feels weird. It's like I've streamed so long and I've seen, like, people in the chat and then people leave and they never, or, like, come back and talk. Sometimes even, like, people I've seen drop by for long periods of time and watch streams quite a bit disappear from the channel and then never see them again. It kind of sucks a little bit to see that type of thing where people just leave and then don't chat anymore. I know I need to work on my points on, like, talking, but I'm not really sure where my problems in my, like, commentary are, to be totally honest, so it's not exactly easy to sharpen up and look at where I need to improve at. I need to maybe figure that out some more. I don't know. Oh boy. Okay, like I was saying, we can talk about YouTube stuff in a second. I gotta say, though, it would be very nice if I could get this shiny tonight. I'm willing to bet we're not going to see anything pop up, though. I'm willing to bet that we're probably going to be... Excuse me, I just ate recently, so I'm probably feeling a little bit funny because of that. But yeah, I just ate, and like I was saying, where was I? I got distracted again. Oh yeah, like I was saying, this might just be me. It feels like every time when I'm, like, down and not actually expecting to get a shiny, that it's always those days where the shiny Pokemon pops up. It might just be me. It might be, like, craziness, and I might be imagining things, but it really feels like when I'm least expecting a shiny Pokemon, that's when they always come up, and I have not given up completely yet, so I feel like, yeah, I may not see anything tonight. I don't know. It's funny. Sometimes I can predict when they're going to happen, and sometimes it just sneaks up on me. Usually I have like an inkling of it, but the last time I was so dejected and feeling like nothing was going to happen that I was like ready to give up, and then it just popped up all of a sudden. I guess it's a shiny hunter's curse for you. Sit there playing the game, continually doing these resets, or like continually encountering the Pokemon, and then when you're like feeling dead inside, ready to stop, the game fucking hands you the shiny like right after you're already ready to admit defeat. Never quickly, at least in my experience. I don't think I've had very many shiny hunts into me going up and then trying to get the shiny and then it ending like really quick. I can name like very little times it's happened, maybe with Rookie D. Sometimes in Let's Go there's been some decent stuff like that, but I mean, I haven't really had that pleasure in the games. I haven't played it a while, and also, like, I've mostly got like a lot of the Pokédex, so trying to get new Pokemon that I don't have is a lot harder now. Anyway, let's see, talking about YouTubers for a little bit more. I think I talked about Peanut Butter Gamer. I haven't watched his stuff in a while. He was good. I enjoyed his videos, but I can't watch them anymore. Same with the Completionist. I don't know why. I just haven't had the same urge to watch those two. Let's see. Who else is another YouTuber that I like to watch or that I have watched in the past? I don't know if I talked about them in great detail. Arlo's good. Arlo, in his, like, topics of, like, discussion or rants, so he makes some very, very good videos. I remember when I discovered him about Paper Mario, like, talking about how he was upset with, like, how Color Splash looked and talking about all the problems with Sticker Star, and man made a very, very good video and got him a very, very good audience considering how many people, like, watched that and tuned into his videos. Like, he's definitely a very, very good content creator, and I found that I genuinely enjoy watching his stuff. I find Arlo makes great content. Another, like, big one that I can think of, like, outside of that, off the top of my head, would be probably Scott the Woz. I guess I discovered him, like, a year or two ago. Scott the Woz has, like, been perfect for the kind of videos I like to watch. He does really good skit videos, and I gotta say, Scott the Woz has, like, a great sense of humor. I've been, like, sticking to watching his videos ever since I discovered him. I find him to be really funny, so yeah, I enjoy his content. I've watched them ever since I found out about it, like, a year or two ago, and I remember he's put up some new, like, 2 or 3 new videos, like, in the past month or so, and they've been really good. I only watched part of it so far, but I've been watching, like, his shovelware video, and I gotta say, like, I do like what I've been seeing out of it. That's one thing I can admire about anybody on YouTube, though, is, like, somebody who puts a lot of effort into their videos, makes sure their videos are really, really well done. It's not always an easy thing to do, and it can be very hard to make a video where you, like, dedicate to a script and make something cool, or a good review video or whatever. Scott the Woz seems to put in, like, 100% on all of his stuff he does, though. He always goes for taking it the extra mile and making a very, very good YouTube video. I like that about Scott the Woz. I found that he's good. Makes very, very great content because of that. Alright, let me count that. I don't think I did. Sure, I'm not forgetting to. Hold on a second. Did I link this in Discord? I think I did. Yeah, it looks like it. I wasn't sure, though. Okay, where was I? I'm gonna check my thing. I don't think we've got anything yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit more until 1040 or whatever, because I'd like to do it on, like, round it up by 10 or whatever. This shiny hunt has been very much a pain in the ass, though. Scott the Woz has got good videos. His kind of videos are exactly like what I like about YouTube, though. Fun little skit videos that are very, very comedy focused. Also, I like Donkey or whatever. Those kind of videos are good. Let's see. I was gonna say, oh yeah, I almost forgot. This isn't related to, like, somebody I watch. I mean, technically it is. It's like, I've already talked about, like, AVGN, and I've still watched those videos quite a bit. I like Cinemassacre. Those are good, but I found that something that was fairly interesting a few days ago. Maybe it was closer to a week, or I don't know when they announced it, but I remember they're like James, or it wasn't just James, it was like there's like a video, I think, where There's like Mike Matei announced that he was leaving Cinemasker and he was going to be working on his live stream stuff, if like separately and like full time. I'm actually surprised about that. It seems weird to hear about Mike Matei leaving Cinemasker. He's one of those kind of people. It's like he seems like he's practically one of the people who's like the face of the channel. Like he's definitely a big part of Cinemasker, and it's gonna feel weird not seeing the James and Mike Monday segments at the very least. And for anybody who doesn't like watch Cinemasker and like keep up with like AVG and stuff or anything, Mike Matei was like pretty big on the series. I think he was like part of the script writer or whatever. Like he wrote the script for some of the episodes and he played roles in episodes. He was involved in several of them, and it's gonna feel weird to see somebody who's like so integral to the channel being gone. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure he can write his own episodes and make stuff work. Like James is a smart guy, so I imagine it'll all be fine. But it's really odd seeing somebody who's so important and the channel just leave. I feel like I see this a lot in YouTube, but it's not like super often. But it never does cease to feel really bizarre when you see somebody who you've been watching on like a channel up and leave all of a sudden when they've been part of a channel for like years. Just the feeling of it is very, very alien. It doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal, but I'd be lying if I said I thought it was normal, because it doesn't feel normal at all. It feels like this is odd. They've been there for so long and they're suddenly just leaving. It feels this way for Cinemasker. Also, it felt that way back in the day with the Completionist and Greg. That's another matter altogether. I think some of you guys probably know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's only heard the Completionist like recently, like over the last few years, may not actually know about who that is. But if you watched the Completionist before, or like, I don't know when it was exactly, I guess around the Smash Wii U and that kind of era, and definitely in the Wii U era of games, like Greg was on there quite a bit. It's easier to, I think if you just look up the Completionist and you look up Greg alongside of like search the Completionist Greg and then on Google, like you can probably find results about what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm referring to. The guy was, it was basically his Gerard's partner, and like did a lot in the skits. I don't know, he was good for comedy relief. I'm not saying the show isn't good still. I just don't really have the same interest in watching the Completionist. Something about it just isn't the same for me. It's still good though. I still enjoy it. It's actually another topic altogether that might be fun to talk about like a little bit later, talking about shows on YouTube or whatever, because I don't talk about that like ever, I don't think. Maybe I have talked about some stuff, but not really an in-depth discussion on like actual big shows or whatever. I'm pretty much just talk about YouTube channels themselves and not really anything else regarding YouTube. I can continue talking about YouTube channels for a little bit though and talk about some good ones. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. There's one I was going to talk about that's one I liked, but it's the person who has the channel is dead now. He was a good guy and he ended up committing suicide. I can talk about him in a little bit and talk about his channel. He was a very much like I guess he was a fairly big YouTuber. He was certainly a good like content creator, and he's definitely missed. Can talk about that in a second or two though. I'm trying to think on any others that I've got on my mind that are big though. It does kind of suck to see content creators like go away from YouTube. And I mean, I think everybody has their time when they want to like leave the platform or leave what they're working on. Can't always stream forever or do YouTube videos forever. End up wanting to move on with your life, and frankly, I don't blame anybody for wanting to. I feel like the depression problems I've been having in making it's streaming like a lot more difficult for me than in recent years, so I totally get what it's like dealing with that crap. It's certainly not a very fun or easy thing to go through. In fact, it's not fun at all putting up with depression. It just makes life in general suck and feel way harder to put up with, so yeah, it's not easy. Depression makes you feel like shit. Sometimes it makes you feel suicidal, and it makes you fucking feel like you're totally worthless and not have like anything like you really want to do in your life, or makes you question your own purposes. I don't know, they just it and fucks with you. That's all I can really say there. It does not feel pleasant. Let's see, I'm thinking on like some other things I want to talk about. I do have another thing I can talk about on relating to like YouTubers. Before I do though, okay, I think I've covered most of the ones I want to talk about. There's some others that are. Let's talk about some more. Talk about some more though. There's a lot of popular YouTubers that I watched a lot, like some that have fallen from grace that I used to really pay attention to. Actually, I was gonna mention that guy I talked about earlier. I might save it for just a little bit later. Like, anybody remember iDubbbz? iDubbbz was really popular for a long time, and then he made like a video talking about his girlfriend or whatever. I think it was because the internet perceived him as like simping or whatever. I'd hate saying that word because I know there's been a negative stigma attached to it for good reason, because the word's overused as fuck, but that's the only way I can think to describe like what the general reaction seemed to be. And after this video like came out, everybody stopped watching his stuff. iDubbbz was pretty good though. He had some good stuff. Like he really brought down the hammer on like some trashy channels out there, and got some of the really shit channels. It was by the balls, and fucking really made it where some of them, I'd say it put some pressure on like some of these content creators to make better content, and not like some of these channels were harassing people to say the least. Like Leafy is Here was one of the channels that is like in these content cop videos. That was one of the things I remember from iDubbbz. There was also one on Keemstar, and if you don't know about how bad Keemstar is, I don't think Keemstar's like too much of a problem nowadays, but if you look back in like his older videos and stuff, like Keemstar started a lot of drama, threw a lot of false accusations around, and frankly, a lot of people hated his guts, and he was kind of viewed as a complete and total piece of crap. So yeah, the fact that Keemstar ended up being somebody that you made a video on is not even remotely shocking. I can name like all the ones I remember pretty well. There was Keemstar, he made one on Leafy, and then the other one that everybody remembers, he made one on Rice Gum. Those were like the three content cop videos that iDubbbz made. I don't feel like iDubbbz really ever had much of a niche besides like working on his content cop stuff. He had other videos, but none of them were really that strong in terms of how their content was. I think his other thing he did was make a lot of unboxing videos, and they were kind of low tier crap, so it's like, eh. Hey, what's up, Wayne? That's sure what's going on here. Not sure what your message is, but welcome. Good to see you. Glad you can make it to the stream. Wasn't actually planning to be... Excuse me, I got something on my fucking hand that I was trying to get off when I was trying to continue what I was doing. Ugh, nasty. Like I was saying, but yeah, talking about YouTubers and stuff, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Wasn't actually planning to stream tonight, and I decided to make a change of plans to hopefully get the shiny before tonight ended. What's this? Rages at a 17-year-old sucking a video game? Said get fucked to a kid. What in the hell? I'm not surprised that's like an actual thing that happened. Ninjas. I've heard of like some problems. Hold on a second. Everything's working fine on OBS, right? I think it is, yeah. According to OBS, my mic is fine. Just checking. But yeah, I've heard problems in the past about how evidently Ninja has... What? What are you talking about? No, I'm definitely talking to you right now. I don't know why you're saying that. Why are you acting as if I'm not saying anything? In fact, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure my audio is fine. Let me see. Can't hear anything. Oh yeah, I need to unmute it to check it. Give me a second. Fine. Yeah. That's what I thought. I don't know what you're talking about there. Oh, whatever. Where was I? I was talking about... I was reading the chat messages. Let me see. I've heard about Ninja... like having temper problems and how bad it's been in the past. Like I've heard about how had issues and started yelling at people over like Fortnite or whatever. I'm not surprised about that. I mean, people talk about it, and I get that it's a big deal, but at the same time, it's like he's human, just like everybody else on the planet. Even if you expect him to be perfect, it's like he's probably going to have moments where he's a little bit fed up with shit and like starts screaming, because everybody gets like moments and they get angry and they don't want to deal with like annoying crap, or they get fed up with like a lot of stupid bullshit going on around them, and then they end up exploding on people, not even doing it on purpose. It's like, it's funny how the internet has this expectancy to like hold like a candle up to people and expect them to be absolutely perfect, and then when they fuck up, they're like extremely quick to criticize you and try to fling as much shit at you as possible and try to make you out to be some bad person. It's like, what do you people expect? You're basically putting every person that gets popular up onto a pedestal and then expecting them to be literally perfect, and when they're not, then you start getting angry at them and trying to cancel them. It's like, this is part of the problem with the internet. It's like, the internet would be significantly better if cancel culture wasn't a thing. It's like, oh yeah, somebody made a mistake, we're going to try and kill their career. It's like, yeah, that's just part of the internet that really needs to die off. It's not really a big deal, but that's something I haven't liked, and I don't think I ever will like. I'm not going to say Ninja was in the right for yelling at a kid, but I mean, like I said, the guy's human. I don't know if there's any streamer or any person I've seen out there that's so good at their job they're able to stay cool like all the time and continually stream with a level head and not actually have any fuck-ups. It's actually a very, very impressive skill set if you actually can do that. It's like, I think everybody has probably had their moments every now and then. I'm sure there's a few people who are really good about, like, controlling their temper and being calm, but, I mean, I think there's probably a lot of people who also are on that same side are not able to fucking stay calm the whole time, and I think that's a natural reaction. It's like some people will break on occasion after being too fed up with, like, everything that's going on around them. Let me see, what is this? Hey, person. Esports. And yeah, I've noticed like some of this stuff. It makes you wonder about his personality. Like that's, I still don't know if what I said is completely wrong, but at the same time, it's like it makes you wonder if his whole online personality he's got is him putting on a facade when he says crap like that. It's like, it's one thing to have a meltdown on somebody, but to tell somebody that games aren't for fun and are just for like being competitive, it's like, yeah, you might need to reevaluate your attitude instead of like treating people like crap like that. Not everybody who goes on to play a game is going on to try and be competitive. I think it would depend on the circumstances. Obviously, it's probably not great for anybody to get in this scenario and start flinging shit at somebody and making somebody feel bad, but at the same time, I think another thing that's like really important is like if you're going into like a competitive game, or if you're going into a game where it's like more shit, it snuck up on me. Oh fuck. Oh well. I think I'm okay now, but like I was saying, shit. I was gonna say that if you're going like a competitive game mode or like a casual game mode, that also is something to factor into like the whole equation. If you're willingly going into like a competitive game mode in a game, and then you're not putting in like a fair amount of effort to try and actually do good at the game, then even if it's not cool to yell at people, it's like you can expect that there's going to be people that'll scream at you and get really angry over you not playing and contributing your part to a team. It's like, that's just the nature of competitive games, and Unfortunately, a good chunk of the internet has the same toxic mindset that if you're not playing perfectly at a competitive game, then you're not allowed to be playing in the game competitively. You're just playing it at all in some cases, which is actually kind of gross, but just the way it is. I know the Smash community has that problem, and not even like competitive circle sometimes, where people get like fucking incredibly toxic over just playing casually. That's one thing I'd hate about like games. You can go into any multiplayer game, not even competitive, and you'll run to like people when you're playing casually who'll fucking go out and like fucking start snapping on you over playing casual instead of like competitive when you select to play in like a casual game mode. It's like what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like I'd pick to play casual and to have fun. I wanted to take it easy, and you start snapping over a game mode that's not meant to be competitive in the first place. It's like kind of just makes you look like a douchebag who has temper problems, and you start doing that crap to people. I won't lie, those kind of people just look bad, honestly. One thing I don't like about playing games in general, and I don't play as many multiplayer games, like, I tend to run into these toxic communities in games very, very easily. But then again, I guess part of that is like, what game out there doesn't have a toxic community anymore? Like, most games have at least some degree of toxicity in their communities. Usually there's like at least a few bad apples in any community. Unless he plays Valorant, Counter-Strike clone, and snapped at a kid. That's pretty lame, I won't lie. I'm surprised he's playing something other than Fortnite. I guess he got sick of playing nothing but Fortnite. I guess he's moved on to a new game, but yeah, I can say that must be something that's going to bring him a lot of negative attention. Maybe next time think before he starts going on a fucking tangent. I mean, like I said, it's natural to get in these scenarios sometimes, but it's not exactly great to start going off on people just all of a sudden. I'm not gonna judge too much, though. Like I said, everybody has their episodes and points where they end up fucking sometimes losing their cool. I'd be lying if I said I don't think I've ever played like a multiplayer game and snapped on somebody, because I'm pretty sure I've probably had similar issue where I've lost my cool at least once when I'm playing multiplayer games. Also, definitely know I'm not great at maintaining a calm composure when I'm playing Smash Bros, so there's that. Also, I'm the type of person who can, like, it gets very, very competitive when it comes to playing online. Usually I like to try and win, and when I end up losing, I end up trash talking more than normal, so yeah. It's just a part of there you have to control, though. Ugh. That's part of why I don't like playing multiplayer games very often. You guys play multiplayer much still, or you guys, like, not really play multiplayer much? I've touched up on multiplayer games and I'm really bored, but I don't really play them much anymore. Like, I still like to play them every now and then, but I don't think I've played anything that's proper multiplayer in some time. Literally the only thing that I remember, like, playing properly in multiplayer is that I played a little bit of, like, let's see, I played Smash on stream, but I never play that often or competitively, and I've played Smash, like, significantly less in, like, the past year or two. I mean, well, I say year or two, it's probably just been playing it past year a little less than I normally would. And also, I've been playing Tetris 99, but Tetris 99 is, like, so isolated in terms of multiplayer that it's almost hard to call it multiplayer, because you're just playing Tetris with, like, another 98 people and not really saying anything or like, communicating with people. You don't feel that same kind of connectivity you'd normally feel in a multiplayer game, and it almost feels more like a single-player experience, so counting it as a multiplayer experience feels a little bit odd, even if it is a Battle Royale game. I think I played mostly, like, Battle Royale in terms of multiplayer over the, like, recent year, because I found, like, there's been a lot of Battle Royale games that have came out recently, and I've been more interested in checking out some of these Battle Royale games, because usually there's some good ones that have, like, unique concepts for the genre. Not always, but you can see some really fun, really neat battle royale games out there if you pay attention. At the same time, battle royales are kind of gotten to this point where it's like there's so many battle royales that it's gotten to the point where they're kind of oversaturated and maybe not going to be that helpful being on the market, honestly. Hold on a second, let me see what I'm missing out on in the chat really quick. Play mostly single player games. I'm giving you hundreds, not thousands of hours of content to keep you occupied. I'm surprised you've gotten that many like single player games to give you thousands of hours. In fact, I think the only one I can think of that's maybe done that for me, at least recently, has been like this and Let's Go, because I've been doing shiny hunting stuff. I don't have any other games that I can think of that have given me thousands of hours. Mario Odyssey gave me a good several hundred hours. It might be kind of close to 1,000 if I had to double check. I don't really know how much it was. It was definitely quite a bit of my time like playing it. I spent quite a while on it, so there's that. I don't think I've got 1,000 in Breath of the Wild either. Like, I can't even name any single player game I've played that gives me that much content. Maybe sandbox stuff, but I don't play that very often. I don't know how much I play for like Minecraft, and for anybody who mentions that Minecraft is also multiplayer, I've mostly played Minecraft in single player, so I get most of my experiences in Minecraft from playing single player. And yet I've never modded it, not once yet. I need to get back into it. I played a little bit last time and I ended up having a bit of a shit start and then just stopped playing it and decided to not bother. Let me see. There's one people that are even single player, there's a lot. Yeah, that's one thing that's like good for that. Minecraft brings in that custom content. If that's one thing that's like good to like look into for single player games, it's always good to have a game that can be modded or has like custom level support. I'd say that's the kind of game that will give you a lot and keeps on giving, is anything that offers you like modding support. If you have mod support, you can keep a game that would normally only last you like 5 or 10 hours going for like significantly longer, possibly turn like a 5 or 10 hour game into a game that lasts like probably hundreds of hours, if not thousands, depending on how you play it. Like, I remember when Portal 2 got updated quite a bit on PC. We can talk about that in a second. Like, Portal 2 is a good example of like probably just the right support for what was added for updates. They managed to make the game last because of how they updated it. Hold on a second, let me see what's up in the chat really quick. Their genre, Fantasy 100 is not roguelike games. C100 pending. Roguelikes I can sort of understand. Most roguelikes I've played, I can't see like 1,000 hours. Most of the ones I played, I clock in like 100 hours and then I stop. And if a game gets too challenging or too unfun, I just stop playing it. Like, one of the ones I've tried to play recently is like, it increases the difficulty when you end up beating the game, so it's like I kind of stopped playing because it got like to the point where it was like so hard that it stopped being fun for me. Just didn't find it to be worth playing that long. It was good, but it just got to the point where it drove me fucking insane sitting there playing and then having like some issues regarding like not being able to get further because the difficulty kept increasing like every successive run or whatever. Where people have been streaming roguelike for years. At least RNG thing runs. Yeah, I just don't think I would have the interest to do that. Maybe I'm alone in that. I think probably not. I think a lot of people like having variety in their streams, but like I can't feel like playing the same game for years on end, just doing nothing but that game would be fun. Even with this game, when I've been sitting down playing a lot, wasting my time trying to do this shiny hunt, trying to get this over with, and trying to shiny hunt Pokemon in the game, it's like I kind of get to the point where it's like I start feeling like I'm getting a little bit sick of it, and maybe losing it a little bit from how long the goddamn shiny hunts take. It's like, I don't take pleasure in playing the same game over and over and over again on repeat. When I get to move on to new stuff in the game, yeah, it's cool, but playing the same thing like this over and over again can be very frustrating very quickly. But anyways, the game is always YouTube called Northern Lion, has 1,000 plus episodes on YouTube and still records it. 4+ years still going on, I guess. I didn't read that. Let's say one of those like missing on the thing. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I meant 4+ years, but yeah, like that's actually impressive to see that much time out of the game. Although, yeah, I don't know that many people who can do that. There's some people who like to stream roguelikes, I guess, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, but very much like an uncommon streaming category. I think people who do like one game only are either usually the type of people who do like, say, roguelikes, or they're the other type of category of people who do the same game over and over again, who usually do like speed runs of games, and they'll keep playing the game, optimizing their runs of the games, and typically they're the kind of people who keep going and going and going until they top the world record on a game. Or if they already had the world record by any chance, they end up going to the point where they usually will sit there and keep playing, working on their strategy, like continually playing the game, looking and trying to get like new strategies, like every time they play it, trying to improve their strategy so they can like shave off even more time on their world record and make it even harder to beat. Like, those are the kind of people that usually play, like, the same game from what I've seen. I guess that there's also another type of game that also fits into this category that you don't see very often. This is another game I've seen, like, streamed a bit, like, you'll see people play, like, procedurally generated games, too, for, like, their one game they'll play. Like, they'll play something where every run they play of the game is different. Not like a roguelike, but, like, something where you can see, like, actually new content every run you play of it. I think Happy Wheels, which I don't like, I've no Happy Wheels, one of those stupid fucking tuber bait games, but, like, Happy Wheels is one of those kind of games that brings in those kind of audience, because I'm pretty sure Happy Wheels is, like, weird shit like that, and I'm pretty sure it's partially procedurally generated, unless I'm mistaken. It's like, the fact the game can keep generating more shit for people to play through, it's like, it keeps people playing it and keeps people making videos on it and whatnot. I don't know, like, a lot of games that fill that niche, though. I've only seen so many games that actually count as procedurally generated that are actually interesting, though. I guess Minecraft is, I don't know, does Minecraft count as procedurally generated? Probably. Minecraft is definitely the kind of game where you see it keep like creating the world and keep it and going. It definitely just keeps infinitely generating shit, though. I'm not sure if it qualifies as a game. One thing I know that would be pretty fun to stream, and probably people who've already started like streaming this specifically alone, like, what's it called? AI Dungeon. AI Dungeon is really, really good, and also on top of that, like, AI Dungeon is the kind of thing where you could stream it and keep streaming it and go through and make all sorts of different stories. It's just an AI that's made to write stories, so you just feed it prompts and try to get any kind of interesting stories you can squeeze out of it. Excuse me. Ugh. Literally, the only thing that's hard about AI Dungeon is, like, making sure you're able to think of, like, interesting and creative writing prompts and then try to get the most out of the AI while you're sitting there toying with it. So I'd say that's another thing that's very, very good for that kind of stuff. Actually, I've been meaning to stream that at some point. Like, AI Dungeon's the kind of thing that I feel like would be really, really good for stream at some point, but I've never really found, like, an actual point to ever sit down and play it. Endless content. That's like there's a few games that are out there like that. That's like the whole thing of, like, procedurally generated content games, where I think the idea is that you literally keep playing and there'll be more and more of the game to keep exploring and it'll never stop generating shit. In that same way, Minecraft is also endless, even though it's not necessarily in a way that I would say is as interesting, in my opinion. There's still some cool stuff, but I feel like, yeah, that's one example that No Man's Sky, I think, has the same thing with that, where No Man's Sky is also, I think No Man's Sky has like procedurally generated content, and I know it started off shit, but I know people talked about how No Man's Sky like improved over time, and supposedly No Man's Sky is turned into a really, really good game over time, but the developers actually sitting down and putting work into making it better and fulfilling their promises they were supposed to make originally. How much did I get a Death Road to Canada? I'm not actually certain. I would say probably like 500 hours or more, and that's on the Switch. I could open up my log and check, but I also don't really intend to open up my hour count right now, and since I don't want to throw away extra time and I want to get done with the like amount of stuff I'm doing today without taking away, is probably close to that, though. I've spent a lot of time playing Death Road to Canada, and it was a really, really good experience. One of the better games I've owned on Switch, and even on PC when I got that before I got it on Switch. Definitely a good roguelike game. I've recommended it on stream before. It is absolutely a fun game. Also, it's weird to say it's like a zombie game, but I mean, Death Road to Canada is a zombie game. It's one of the best zombie games I've ever played. Like, the way they keep making the story as you keep going, and like giving you these weird events, making everything quirky, weird, and fun, just like giving you different things to look forward to each playthrough where it's different. It's something I enjoy out of the game. AI Dungeon, or not seeing AI Dungeon, say, excuse me, Death Road to Canada, it's only natural that I squeezed a lot of hours out of it. The game is really good about giving you reasons to keep back, and to keep coming back and playing more of it. There's also like a shit ton of game modes to play, and as a result, if you want to do more stuff, you have like all these different game modes that you can touch bases on and keep playing and try to beat them all. It's like, that kept me playing for a long time. It also kept my interest in by like making new characters and unlocking all the different perks and like exploring options for all the different perks that I had a choice for in Death Road to Canada, and it gave me a lot of time just goofing around with like different builds. It was really fun, honestly. I still might go back and play some more of it at some point. I don't know if I'll stream it again. I want to at some point, but it was good. I've only got like 2 game modes I don't think I've ever beaten in the game, and only because I got a little burned out from playing as long as I did. Let me see. Just checking up on the messages. I'm gonna check the one. I haven't seen you're here again. Welcome, Dragonclaw. Good to see you're back in the chat. I'm gonna read Wayne's message really quick before I go back and check yours, though, really fast. I just want to see what this says. At Realms on Minecraft. And play a realm based off of Pokemon Blue. 20 hours and about to Elite 4 and you're done. I would say there's probably better content to look into over playing it on PC, but I'm not actually certain. I mean, if you have a console version, I guess that might be a decent option, but I think on PC, if you really look into your options on Minecraft, you can find like a lot of mods out there, and I know Pixelmon is a very popular one, and it's not hard to find it. And then on top of that, there's like a lot of adventure maps. I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody out there who's dropped like a Pixelmon campaign on Minecraft that you could download that has like very similar, if not at the same kind of like structure as like a realm on Minecraft. I know that there's a lot of adventure maps that have the like sole purpose of exploring and like doing like a little campaign on it, and I've thought of doing that actually on stream at some point. Maybe I'll do that next year or some, because I've been meaning to play Minecraft, and even though I wanted to beat the main campaign in hardcore, I've yet to do that because I keep fucking up every time I play it. But like, I'd like to sit down and do some adventure maps on stream. Maybe next year we'll do that, actually. That seems like it'd be fun. Like a good way to waste a little bit of time away. Okay, let me see the other message I missed on. Welcome to the stream, though. I didn't already say it. Give me a second. I just need to make sure I light this pattern up. It's always a pain to do this, and if I look away for too long, I find that I do something stupid and then start running into the wall while not paying attention, and then I waste time trying to get the next encounter started. Phase 2 for shiny. I'm not sure how you say that name. Blacephalon? I've seen that Pokemon's name. I know it's one of the Ultra Beasts in Gen 7, but I don't know how you say that. Let's see. Got a shiny Gastron, the 7th raid. The shiny charm. That's pretty impressive. I would say, obviously, this is like not that big of advice. It's obviously like basic advice, but yeah, getting a shiny charm in general is like a really good idea for shiny hunting, especially for Dynamax Adventures. I mean, it's not a really huge problem, not a necessity, but it definitely helps a lot. I feel like when I've gone through my Dynamax Adventure stuff, I've noticed like a noticeable amount of shinies that pop up, and I think part of it is definitely through the fact that I've got a shiny charm, since the odds are like 3 times higher when you have no shiny charm. I meant to say, I guess in general it's better to have the shiny charm. It's funny, I went through like playing the game doing like no shiny charm through the beginning. That's because I didn't plan to go through and do much stuff after I had finished, but I also... Oh shit, actually I forgot to go back out and heal my Regice because I was using it for part of this hunt. It's actually got enough of a purpose here. Yeah, like, I didn't think I would need it. It ended up being very helpful though. I mean, I haven't used it too much, and I don't know if I got too many shinies outside the Dynamax Adventure stuff, but it's definitely made a lot of use. Go for full odds. I mean, I guess that's cool, but I personally don't see the appeal of doing... Excuse me, my stomach is bothering me a little more than I'd like. Like I was saying, I don't see the appeal of doing full odds shiny hunting. I guess there's maybe an appeal to it, but shiny hunting in itself is absolutely torture sometimes and ridiculously hard. The last thing I want to see when I'm doing shiny hunting is to increase the shiny hunting that I'm doing by like a significantly longer period because I don't use a shiny charm. I mean, I don't happen to be the kind of person who swears by the shiny charm, but at the same time, I'd rather take the little bit of help that I get from having a shiny charm and trying to get my odds a little bit better than throwing out another month or two. Let's see, what's going on with this? The Valve Index. I haven't got it yet. I think I talked about that on stream, actually. I mentioned how I was planning to check on when the whole thing for the stimulus checks was going to be announced, and when they talked about when they were announcing like what the final amount is, and now they've confirmed they're going to be doing only $600 checks, and it's like, I don't think I can afford to buy one right now. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll have more money left over than I thought, but all my money I'm going to have next month is basically going into me paying for my new phone so I can finally have a functioning phone again instead of like worrying about having problems and not being able to rely on my phone in an emergency. So next month, instead of using my stimulus check to pay for like something for just like a bonus to keep myself feeling better and like have a little bit of something fun to mess around with, that money is probably going to be going towards having a little bit of backup money that I can actually work with and try to utilize, since I'll be running out of all my money that I needed for trying to get supplies, since I was saving everything I had for a phone right now. Like, I need that money really badly, so I don't know if I can afford to get an index right now. If I get spare, though, and I save up enough, I might buy one, but I think my next priority is to try and get my hands on a puppy like I wanted to after I get a phone. That way I can have something that'll be helpful to my general life and well-being. I mean, I'd stand by what I said before on stream. I think that getting a dog and having a dog for the sake of, like, helping with my depression problems is probably a good idea. And I think having a puppy would not only liven up my life, it might make the streams a little more fun and interesting, and also on top of that, it'll probably get me feeling in a better mood. Dogs are really good for the sake of depression. I remember when I was younger, like with my dog I've told you guys about, I know she's gone now and I'm still sad about it, but like, my pet wiener dog was absolutely like a huge part of my life, but something I really, really cared about. I really, really loved her and made me feel more purpose in my life, and I was able to shake off the depression that I was feeling a lot easier because I had this dog here that actually gave a shit about me and cared about me and was there for me when I needed her. She was always by my side and wanted to be close to me, and it made me feel a lot better, and it made me feel like I actually had a reason to be here rather than throwing away my time and worrying about whether or not I had a purpose. I felt like I could easily say, even if I had nothing else in my life that was important, at the very least I had a dog that was there by me and faithful to me and actually needed me in her life, and it made me feel good about my life, and I was glad to have the dog. I think I'm going to focus on getting a puppy for that reason. I want to get a puppy so I can have something, and having a puppy around will make my life a little bit better. It's a shame things didn't work out with the cat scenario, but I think I came to terms with the fact that I'm probably just not a cat person, and I think I can handle dogs better, and I can probably raise a puppy no problem. Hang on a second, let me see. Is it a shiny Dynamax Adventures? Maybe 300? Yeah, the biggest problem with that is, even though it's not a big deal, like, I guess it depends on who the person you ask is, like, Dynamax Adventures, I've noticed, they're usually pretty good about the shiny rates, and you get stuff pretty quickly, but, like, Dynamax Adventures can be actually more cruel than the other shiny hunting method at certain points when you're sitting there going on for trying to get a specific target. It's good for getting shinies in general, and you'll get a lot of stuff, but, like, when you go over your, not even over odds, I guess, it's like in general, you go on for a long time, and you start phasing and not getting anything that you actually want, it feels grueling and absolutely annoying to go through Dynamax Adventures, and it can happen really, really easily. And on top of that, it's not hard to go over odds. It doesn't happen to me once yet, I don't think. I think I've been lucky at that all my hunts in Dynamax Adventures have been under odds. But at the same time, like, these, like, little Dynamax Adventures you do when you're playing through them, it takes a lot of time to do a Dynamax Adventures. I think the estimated time for, like, finishing one Dynamax Adventures is to go through, like, one raid, and then you go... raid might be the right word, you know what I mean to say, though. You go through one where you play through the whole thing, and then you face the raid boss. Like, that takes, like, roughly 15 minutes to do the entire thing. And then on top of that, when you finish it, it's like, you have to pray that you do everything right. You don't actually screw up and accidentally die or something. It's like, yeah, it's a little concerning about how you have to worry if you end up potentially losing. It definitely adds up really quickly. In a few ways, I guess it's actually more scary screwing up in Dynamax Adventures than it is playing through normal shiny hunting, is the fact you didn't have to worry about not losing. Ugh. I like it, though. I do like it. I mean, I've gotten a lot of good shinies out of the Dynamax Adventure stuff. Definitely a good shiny hunting method compared to some of the others in the game. I've gotten quite a lot of good stuff playing it. Actually, I've been meaning to go back on another one. It's a fun shiny hunt method. Like, I'm after I get done with getting the next target after Regice, I'm planning to go back and do some more of it. Oh man, I haven't done any in a while. Don't really mind, though. Oh, I hope I can get a Valve Index sometime soon, since I mentioned getting one. I know you brought that up, Wayne. I've been, like, thinking about, like, good VR games I should look into. You got anybody who plays VR here, like, got any recommendations for, like, good VR games that have been released recently, or even just, like, over the past few years? I've seen a few things, but nothing that ever really stood out to me as, like, really good must-buy stuff for VR. There's only, like, a handful of games that are must-buy from what I've seen. I think I've mentioned it countless times that I know Half-Life Alyx is like the big VR game that everybody talks about that's supposedly worth looking into, so Half-Life Alyx is on my radar for something I want to look into. I'm also planning to download the Portal stuff with like Aperture, the lab, and the hand lab thing or whatever it's called, and play that a little bit. I don't have like a list of big name VR things that are out though. Like I know about what's it called? Resident Evil has VR and Resident Evil 7. I feel like I've heard of a mod for, or not even a mod, just like a VR supporting No Man's Sky. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if that's worth it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that, like, I know certain Switch games updated for Labo VR. I wonder if you plug in, like, a traditional VR set to your, like, Switch and you try to use it, you could get the VR functionality on, like, those games through using a VR headset. I don't feel like you could probably play these games with the VR headset, though, because I think the problem is Labo VR functions around the idea of you strapping your, or like Labo VR up to your head or whatever, with like your Switch like directly strapped close to your eyes, and it's like, if that's how it functions, I don't think you'd likely be able to use a proper VR headset to play these games. Maybe I'm wrong though. Honestly, the Switch VR is probably something where you can't even qualify it as real VR because it's not actually doing anything with VR. It uses like magnifying lens near your face. I don't know if I'd really want to use it or not. I've thought about buying it. Doesn't seem like a great value though. Oh man, what were we talking about before I get into like talking about shiny hunting? Oh, I talked about a dog a little bit. Like, that'll be a good topic for a little bit actually. So what kind of dogs do you guys have in chat? I think I've talked about it a little bit, but I mean, I don't think I've talked about this in like a long time, and it's a good topic to talk about. Like, what kind of dogs have you guys owned? What kind of breeds do you have now, if you have one? Just curious to hear about like pets and dogs a little bit. I'm really considering my options for like what kind of dog I want to get when I end up getting one. I've been like interested in getting the same kind of breed for years now. I've had possible interest in getting a Shiba, but I don't know if Shibas are good for like getting for an apartment or not. They seem like they are a bit fussy on the side of dogs, and I hear people talk about Shibas not being the easiest to work with, so I don't know if I want a Shiba or not. Seems like it might be a lot of work to deal with the kind of dog that has a bit of an attitude issue sometimes and doesn't always like to listen to people, so Shiba might be like a dog species I'd rule off the list, at least for first dog living alone. I'm thinking, like, right now, it's not even a certainty. Like, I'm thinking of getting a beagle, though. I've seen them quite a bit. They seem like good dogs. They're not huge. They're not small. I know small dogs are probably good for a first dog, but actually have my interest in getting a somewhat sizable dog. Not like a big dog, but a medium-sized dog. I like the idea of having something, like, not huge, just something that's, like, relatively big that I can keep around and something I can take out for a walk easy. Just something like that. I like the idea of having a beagle. They seem like good dogs. That I hear people talk about beagles being very, very good pets. The only problem I'd be worried about with beagles is that I hear they're high-energy dogs, and I'm not the kind of person who likes to get out and be super active. So, I mean, I feel like I might end up being not the best fit to have a beagle just because I don't like to get out and walk very much. I don't know, that's just my 2 cents on that. Is chat okay? I haven't seen any messages in quite some time, actually. I'm gonna send a test message here. Hi there, welcome to the stream. Oh, okay. Hi there. I guess things are going okay. I would say they could be better, though. I've been at this for 6 in-game days, as you can see on the title. But I haven't got over odds yet. I want this shiny hunt to be over, though. I've been doing this for a while now. I could say this has gone less than perfect. I've been trying to get this shiny since, I don't actually know when. I guess I started this on roughly the 20th or 21st or something. I'd have to double check when I started this. It's been a bit of a painful, slow shiny hunt, not gone great, since I've been trying to get it for a while. And I think the part that's bothering me about the shiny hunt, even though I know I don't got too many encounters yet, is the fact that I've been at this for a while, and on top of that, I want this to be a shiny that I get before New Year's happens. I want this to be something that's over with before I have to see the year end. And it's like, it's starting to approach quicker and quicker every day, and there's only like 2 days left in the year. I want this to end on a good note and be something I can look forward to, like, hey, I got this shiny before 2020 ended, and so far that's not happening, and I would like to avoid that if at all possible. I had the same scenario happen with the shiny I was doing last year that would not shine for me until January and fairly late in the month, and I spent over a month looking for it, and it was a very, very painstaking shiny hunt. Those are not very fun to put up with. I think, like I said, I started something like the 20th or something. I was hoping this would be done by Christmas time, and I think the reasoning for that is a fairly easy thing to see. I didn't get started fast enough for it to really happen on Christmas, I feel like, though, because I put in hours a little bit too slowly, didn't really grind it up very much, but at the same time, like, I would have liked to have got it because it's an ice Pokemon and a legendary, and I mean, it feels like it fit being a Christmas shiny really well. It also fit the idea of a New Year's shiny too, though, so yeah. Actually, I do have a shiny charm, so it's not been having the best of luck. I've been hearing, actually, like, a lot of conflicting reports regarding how, like, shiny charm works regarding these particular encounters. Like, I would say legendaries, but I know it works on Dynamax Adventures fine, and that's not too bad there. But in terms of how it works on, like, the Regice and also the Swords of Justice, I've heard people arguing and having, like, there have been conflicting reports of how it works on these legendaries that are static encounters. I've heard a lot of people saying that it doesn't work because of the fact that, like, a lot of people have gone over odds, and I think I've seen conflicting data, people, like, data mining stuff, but I honestly don't know, because I've seen a lot of people who have, like, well over the 4,000 encounters for, like, the shiny odds, and it's ridiculous how high some of these hunts have gone, despite the shiny charm supposedly working on them. I don't know what's going on, if there's actually something bugged out here. It's certainly been a lot of points where people have seen, like, odds that don't fit the bill of shiny charm working. I've only done one of the static encounter shiny hunts so far, though, so I can't really weigh on how well the shiny charm works yet. We haven't gone over odds just yet. I've done Regice, and technically I've been over shiny charm odds, but it's not super high over odds. I was at, let's see, 2,447 encounters, and that's a ballpark estimate because I think I may have forgot to add, like, a few encounters up, or may have, like, accidentally pushed the button more times than necessary at some points by mistake when I wasn't paying attention, so I think I messed up on my numbers a little bit, but I spent near 2,500 encounters on it. I wouldn't say the charm didn't necessarily work there, though, since it seems like it's not really guaranteed to be in 1,000, and it seems like it came fast enough, but it didn't come super fast. It does make me question how well it's working, though, when I'm doing this and sitting here and there's nothing to show for it yet. Watch me say this, and I doubt it's going to happen, but like I say this, I feel like with one of these 6 and, well, I don't actually know. Regigigas function by the same method, so maybe just one of these 5 through the temples, but watch if I sit here and do this, I'm probably going to end up, like, seeing one of these pop up, like, maybe under, like, 10 encounters if I get lucky. I don't expect that'll happen, but if it did, that'd be fucking really surprising. That's how I have to, like, sit there and think, like, if they really don't work, is it really likely that people would be getting lucky enough to get, like these really, really insane odds that they don't even go into the triple digits and they end up finding shinies? Like, that's enough to me, like, to say, yeah, shiny charm probably works, just not always lucky. I've seen some pretty bad experiences regarding this, though. I've seen one guy who's, like, streaming and trying to get Regice on Twitch, and the guy's, like, nearing 10,000 encounters and been shiny hunting it since, like, DLC's release. I feel bad watching that. It's like, it makes me feel bad since I came on and got my Regidrago that I wanted to grab in, like, under 3,000 and really quickly. It wasn't too bad, even though it was slow. I'm actually surprised my shiny hunts have been relatively calm. I've only dealt with, like, so many bad shiny hunts. Like, the worst one I've dealt with is a really slow, really bad Applin shiny hunt. It was last year. Hadn't got my shiny charm, so I wasn't expecting the need to go through the shiny charm, only getting, like, Pokemon I wanted for my main playthrough, and I ended up spending over a month on trying to get the Applin and trying to get something, and it didn't end up happening until, like, another month later, and it was doing it through wild encounters. It was all handled a little bit less than it, and great. Like, I still tried to make it work out as good as I could, but it was definitely not as good as it could have been, and it took forever. It was a painfully slow shiny hunt. A shiny or false swipe. My goal, which I don't know if is going to work out, I tried this same method on, like, Regidrago when I was shiny hunting it, as I set it up where I tried the false swipe, but not until it was at 1 HP, because I didn't want to risk, like, giving it enough damage that it could potentially struggle kill itself by, like, not being caught. Like, I damaged it until it was, like, at least in yellow, and then I was trying to put it to sleep and catch it, and I was using Premier Balls because I wanted to get Premier Balls to try and hopefully get, like, one of them caught and have, like, a theme going with that, but it ended up working, and I got paranoid near the end and ended up throwing a Master Ball at it because I didn't think it was going to keep lasting, and I figured I was running low on PP, so I guess the strategy is just going to be to try my strategy of trying to Premier Ball capture them, and if it doesn't work out, I'll probably do what I did with the Regidrago and use a Master Ball on it. Although, to be frank, I mean, I don't know how well that'll work out. I've got quite a few, because I've saved all my Master Balls. I've had a few points where I've got Gmax from people being friendly and donating them and helping me catch the Gmax shinies that I was doing for, like, I've been on streams and part of a community. We worked together on that stuff, and I got some Master Balls from some friendly people there and got at those, and I've saved my main game Master Balls, and I haven't used those up, so I've still got, like, 3 Master Balls left over. So that means, no matter what, I think I've got to get at least one Regi out of no Master Ball. I don't intend to Master Ball them unless it's a necessity, though. I'd like to hold on to the Master Balls and hopefully not use them all. I mean, I know I don't have to use any on Regigigas because Regigigas is guaranteed capture, so I've already thought my plan out, and I was, like, looking at how people were doing stuff. I think for Regigigas, I'm going to use the whole Beast Ball setup that most people do. I think Beast Ball with Regigigas' shiny looks really good. Honestly, I wish I could get all these without, like, having to worry about the order a little bit, because I actually kind of want to get Regigigas, like, sometime in the near future, but I also want to get all these guys, and I don't want to start another new profile just to get all the stuff here. I guess if I really wanted to, I could trade over my Pokemon over to my other profile and shiny hunt it, but I'd have to get a Regieleki on that account first, and that wouldn't really work out, so I mean, I can't really try that. Like, I want to get Regigigas, though, and he has a really pretty shiny. All these guys are something I want to get eventually, though. Regigigas has my favorite shiny out of the Regis, I think, though. It just has a good one, in my opinion. Actually, speaking of which, some of these shinies through the Regis are really, really lame. Especially Regice. Regice has that lame shiny of being a fucking... and, like, only slightly darker shade of... yeah, excuse me, only slightly darker shade of blue, and... that's literally the only difference in the shiny color as far as I can tell. In fact, it's like so hard to see that I've been a little bit paranoid that if I'm not paying attention, I might end up missing the shiny altogether. Also, I've got to be honest, I find Regidrago and Regieleki are absolutely missed opportunities for really cool shinies. They went through a lazy route of not really changing very much and made them kind of not the best looking for their shinies. Like, oh wow, Regidrago, they took the dragon parts of it and they made it blue. Like, that's really shocking. Not really. It's like that's kind of a really, really minimalistic and lame looking way to handle the shiny, in my opinion. I think Regidrago is handled a little... I'm not saying Regidrago, I was going to say Regieleki is handled a little bit better, but at the same time, it's not the best. It's got the white bands, and I think the white bands on Regieleki actually look kind of nice. They add to the look a little bit, and they look kind of good, but at the same time, it's like, it's such a minimal detail they focused on instead of giving it a better shiny. I would have been so much happier if they put in a lot of work for a better looking color palette and a cooler looking shiny, but it's whatever. Can't complain too much. I think it looks okay, but I would have liked to have seen a better shiny attempt at it. Let's see. Regigigas and Dinosaur by yourself, and yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. I've seen how that works. You fight it in a Dynamax battle, and you have to beat it through your like attempts to sit down and beat it through that in order to catch it. And same way for shiny hunting, it really you have to beat it first. I mean, naturally, knowing that much, it's probably a good idea if you're planning to shiny hunt Regigigas to not only get a Pokemon ready, but to also test these strategies and like try to lab out like how you're planning to go and capture Regigigas before you actually try to fight it, just because the fact you want to make sure you don't end up fucking losing to it when you're in battle with it, so have to be ready beforehand. I mean, you can say the same shit about fighting these guys, though, although there's a difference there. But these guys, you have to be set up so you're sure you're able to sit down and like fight them without losing them, and have to make sure you false swipe or do whatever means you need to actually try to avoid killing them. I mean, I've got a strategy in mind for my attempt at catching all of them, hopefully, and I haven't figured out what I want to do entirely with Registeel yet, because I haven't got like a good idea of how to handle it. But I mean, this and Regirock, I've kind of got a ballpark idea of how I want to handle their hunts and try to get them. Like, I got this Registeel I brought from the other profile. I gave it Metal Claw, and the damage doesn't seem to be too high. The only thing I'm concerned about is I don't know how high crit damage is, and I don't want it to kill either one of them when I use it. I'm going to try and weaken them with that, only by one hit, though. And I loaded up like one of my... I like caught like a... what was it again? I think I caught Yamper like on the burst route or whatever. Went back and recaught it just for the sake of getting a Pokemon that has Nuzzle so I can use Paralysis against them, and that way I can have easy stat effect, not too much damage. Thought this out well enough, hopefully. I don't know if it'll work out. I guess we'll end up seeing when I get to that point, though. That's really the biggest problem when it comes to shiny hunting legendaries, or really in general. Gotta worry about critical hits factoring into your plan. I know that's why False Swipe exists, but I mean, sometimes you try to do that without False Swipe so you can get like a few things done first. Ugh. Let me see here. Just checking on my messages really quick. Anything I missed here? Starting for Shiny Charm, we have 276 out of 400 Pokemon. I got mine not super easily, but I mean, it's not too hard. If you trade to get your stuff for like your Pokédex, it's not too bad usually getting stuff. The only problem I've had is like getting certain Pokemon through trying to get like the Pokédex filled up for the shiny charm can be a real pain. Remember I made a trade to get like both Excelgor and what's his name again? The other one, Carablast or something. I'm not sure if I remember the name correctly. Those trade evolution Pokemon, those were things I went through like GTS, and then I realized later, at least on Excelgor, that I could have found it in the Isle of Armor. That was annoying when I found out about that. I mean, I don't want to use the... I'm not saying you should have to use the DLC to, like, help you, but, like, thankfully it's not too bad looking for Pokemon. It seems like it's easy enough to search stuff up and then go around and try to either egg hatch or try to evolve Pokemon you've got on hand and fill out your Pokédex. It can be a real pain, though, to sit there and do it. I will say, from what I've done in my time getting the shiny charm, though, definitely sitting down and utilizing GTS absolutely helps you get, like, significantly further and trying to get your Pokédex complete. Trying to get the version exclusive Sword and Shield. Yeah, I know what that's like. Thankfully, that's easier in my opinion, because I feel like since Shield version is, like, less popular, more people actually want Shield version exclusives, so it's fairly easy to try and trade people and get Sword version exclusives, because people are desperate to get their hands on the Shield version exclusives. And part of the reason why I was thinking ahead when I was like wondering if I was even going to purchase in the first place, and I decided to get Shield version, it's like, well, out of the two versions, which one has the more value? More people want Sword, but I mean, when you look at it from a standpoint of like which game has better value, usually just by the sheer fact that Shield is less popular, more people want the version exclusives out of Shield. So it's like, yeah, Shield seems like the better bet to go with, and also on top of that, the version exclusive mascot Pokemon aren't that bad either. I feel like I don't love Zamazenta a whole lot, but I don't love Zacian a whole lot more either, and I like Zamazenta's design well enough that I was fine with getting the Shield version. That was like the biggest problem I found, that I wanted to like... I didn't really care too much, but I wanted to permatrade for a Zacian, and trying to get anybody to permatrade legendaries, like trying to trade a Zacian over was actually a pain in the ass to find anybody who would trade one for the other. Like, I finally found somebody eventually, but trying to get somebody to do it was a real time sink. Now I've got one on my profile that I can hold on to for future usage, though. But I'm really upset about the fact that they shiny locked the like box legendaries. I still don't like that. I know they've been doing that for quite some time, and they've had shiny locks in place for a while now, but it's never great. I found the shiny locks are probably one of the worst parts of like dealing with Pokemon. That's one of the things I don't like about modern Pokemon. It's almost like Game Freak just saying like, no, you can't have the shiny. Instead, we're going to sit here and have total control of when the box art legendaries are distributed, and nobody gets to have anything special because we don't want that. We want it to be distributed through an event, and it's like, yeah, thanks, Game Freak. You ruined all the fun of shiny hunting by taking away any possibility to get the box art Pokemon through shiny hunting. It's very annoying dealing with that. Let's see. Zacian from trading for another thing. That Zamazenta. Yeah, I don't feel like that's a bad idea. In fact, I think it's what I did, even though it took me time to find anybody who would do it. Like, nobody wanted to trade the way they're legendary, and it was a pain in the ass finding anybody to do it. I feel like it's a good deal to do because it's not too bad. You can always make another profile, and then you can go back and get the box art legendary, like redoing your profile. Also, there's a few benefits from getting like a new profile set up, like get other Pokemon you wouldn't be able to get through doing a second profile. Like, I'm planning to use my alt account that I've got, or I've got like several profiles, and one I'm using for, I guess, an alt account, on my Switch, and it's like, I'm planning to use that for a lot. I've already used it for shiny Regidrago. It's like, probably going to go ahead and collect the other stuff too, like get other form of Urshifu that I don't actually have right now. Then I'm going to go for getting, I think I'm getting Glacier on my main account when I eventually go to do the Calyrex stuff, which I haven't done yet. And I'll probably get the like Spectrier from the other profile. I don't think you can get both like fusions on one profile, which I find really annoying. Actually, it's not really a big deal, but it's like a little unfortunate you can't bring over a Calyrex and the horse and have like both fusions on the same profile. I think if you wanted to do that, you might be able to trade over like an already fused Calyrex. But outside of that, if you wanted to get all of them, you'd probably have to do like several profiles to get every last one. Also, if you want all three like Cubfu, Rishifu, and the Rishifu's forms, you'd have to do 3 separate save files to get Cubfu, and then again to get both the Rishifu forms. So yeah, kind of a nuisance. I guess it's only like 3, but that's still quite a lot to go through and get everything. Let me see. Guzzlord's the worst. Oh, besides, you like it? Yeah, I didn't play Sun and Moon. I didn't play Gen 6 either, so I can't really relate to that stuff. Those are the only 2 that I haven't played either, and it's not... I guess I kind of dropped off from Pokemon around Gen 5. I played Gen 5 and I enjoyed it, but around that time I started falling out with it. After Gen 4, I kind of stopped having as much interest in it, and wasn't exactly hugely up to playing more, so I just stopped playing for a little while. It's not like they're bad games, I just didn't have the urge to go and play them. I played a lot of Pokemon. I played all the way up till Gen 5 and didn't skip any generations, and also played a lot of the spin-off games. There's a lot of good Pokemon stuff out there, honestly. I've enjoyed a good chunk of the stuff I played. I think I did Water Tower on mine, I'm not really certain. Yeah, I think I was more interested in doing Dark Tower, but I decided not to because Water Tower was like right there, and on top of that it was like I'm doing it for my main profile and I'm going to go back and do it again on my alt anyway, so it's like even if I want the Dark Tower stuff, it's like since I have another account, I'll just use that account and go back and get the Dark Tower form later at another point, so it's like why bother really thinking about it or worrying about it? Oh, shit. I'm gonna have to, I guess, I wonder if I'm gonna make another account if I want to go for, like, the other stuff, though. That bothers me. I really would, I probably would like to have, like, both the Cubfu and the Rishifu forms, as well as getting, like, the fusion and all the horses. Like, I'd like to have options to use all that stuff. I wouldn't mind going through and getting that, but God, would it be nice if they gave you the option to actually use shit on, like, in more than one profile, excuse me, I'm going to say, it's like, they gave you the option to do that stuff. I'd hate the idea that I have to go through playing the game not another 2, just one more time, but I have to do another profile if I want to get my hands on both the Calyrex fusions, because I have to sit down and do one for the other horse, then I have to do another one for getting the horse and Calyrex fused together. Whereas for the other form that I've already got fused, I don't have to do any of that. That's really frustrating to think about. That's not a big deal, but it's definitely a pet peeve that you can't have both the fusions on one profile unless you trade the fusion into your profile. And I don't think there's any way to unfuse it, so you're just kind of screwed on that one. Not really a huge problem, but it'd be nice if that wasn't a problem in the first place. Also, even though I like the Dynamax Adventures, I've got to say that I am a little bit disappointed with the Crown Tundra. I still like the DLC because it's done well and there's a lot of good stuff in it, but like, I hate how they shiny locked the Galarian birds. Same as how they shiny locked like all the brand new stuff besides the Regice. Like they shiny locked both the horses and Calyrex. I'm not surprised they shiny locked Calyrex, but the horses actually have some pretty decent looking shinies, and I would have liked to have the opportunity to actually shiny hunt them and try to get them, but oh well, whatever. I would have loved to have had the option to get them. They look good. I think I'm gonna have to check those again. I think the ice one had like a red form. Let me see. Let's see what they look like again. I don't remember. It's been all since I've seen this last year. Or shiny. Oh, that's purple. And then Spectre or whatever his name is has like a red mane. Yeah, those look like good shinies. It's a shame the better shinies, the DLC, are the ones that are shiny locked. Meanwhile, the two shinies that are literally minimal effort, like no real thought put into them, fucking happen to be the ones that get like no shiny locks. It's something that irks me really badly. Not really a big deal, but it doesn't feel great. Articuno has to be your favorite Galarian bird. I think I like Zapdos the most. Moltres is a very, very close second for me. I don't hate Articuno any, but it's just not the kind of design I find to be my favorite. Zapdos's Galarian form, something about that really, really clicked with me. I love the look of it. Also, it looks like a giant chocobo almost. It looks goofy seeing Zapdos running around like that. I do find it to be pretty great. Also, the typing's interesting. Although, probably the worst typing out of all three. Like, if fighting flying, it counters literally none of the others. Funny how they took the roles of these Pokemon, and then when it comes to, like, the most utility, they gave Zapdos the least utility out of the Galarian trio, whereas when it comes to the Encanto trio, he's absolutely the strongest because he has his electric typing. Meanwhile, in Galar, he's completely fuck-all useless because his fighting type only does neutral damage at absolute best. Or if you're fighting Articuno, it turns into the point where you have fucking literally 4 times resistance to his attack. It's like, yeah, cool. He's got fighting flying, so he's got a very, very ineffective typing. That's not a great thing, honestly. I do like the design, though. The design is fantastic. Also, the shinies look really good, although I kind of wish they had gone through other shinies. I mean, they're far better than the Kanto shinies, at least. The Kanto shinies for like, particularly Articuno and Zapdos leave a lot to be desired. Articuno's isn't terrible. Like, I find the lighter shade of blue to look alright, but they could have done more with the shinies than making them that similar. Zapdos versus Kanto shiny is inexcusably terrible. Like, there's nothing about that shiny that's good. You can barely tell that Zapdos's, like, Kanto shiny is any different from its normal form. Let me see. Glenn and Zapdos counters Moltres. I don't think it's actually a counter unless I'm mistaken. Like, even though it's got a good typing, when you look at the typing, they're all flying type, and even though Moltres has dark type, it kind of equalizes out when you look into the typings. It only does neutral damage against Galarian Moltres, I think, so pretty much Galarian Zapdos does not hard counter either one of its other two it's facing against. It's just the fucking odd one out that sits at the kind of crap typing that doesn't really help it any. Although, I don't know, if it has, like, access to even 1 or 2 electric moves, it might actually be good. Considering, I know they have, like, their signature attacks that are, like, based on their original forms, but they don't really have the same typing. I don't know if they can learn any moves that have, like, semblance of their original forms or not, though. That would actually be useful. Especially to have Zapdos actually have access to an electric attack. So it'd make Zapdos actually stronger. I don't think he does, though. I don't think any of them have that, but I might be wrong. Also, I know it's just ranting now and not really something that anything can be done about it, but like, God, it would have been satisfying to have the option to shiny hunt the Galarian birds. I would have probably gone after that a lot quicker than the option to shiny hunt, like, the Regis if we were given the chance to. Obviously, we weren't, and we're stuck with this as our alternative. We can do this in, like, the Swords of Justice, but, like, it would have been really nice to claim those shinies. Those Galarian forms look really good. I love how their shinies look. It's not amazing. Like I said, I would have heard different colors overall, but, like, I genuinely like how they dedicated the shinies to being, like, based on the Kanto forms. It's really, really nice looking. They look really good, in my opinion. And if I'm looking at all of them and comparing my favorite out of the shinies, I've got to say, Galarian Moltres has a fucking awesome looking shiny out of all 3 of them. I think it might be my favorite out of the trio. It's a shame they're all shiny locked. The one thing I could see being a problem if they weren't shiny locked, and this is just like a small thing, is the fact that they weren't. I could imagine trying to chase these fuckers down and trying to actually like get them through encounters for shiny hunting would be absolute torment, because chasing them down alone is already hard enough as it is. It's not too bad in some cases. They all gave me a bit of a fight. Getting Zapdos might have been the easiest one, and it wasn't super easy, but like both Articuno and Moltres were very, very annoying to track down. Especially Moltres. I swear Moltres was like fucking taking every possible turn on Isle of Armor to be completely annoying, and it cuts through like some of the best paths to just make it a pain in the ass to chase it down. It's like, no matter how careful you are, that Moltres will find a way to sit there and continually bother you and make it hard for you to try and get your hands on it. Have to do a mystery gift for them. I would have preferred they just released the shiny locks, but I don't think they're going to. Like, I don't mind the idea of mystery gifts, but it's more anticlimactic in my opinion. I find the idea of getting to actually shiny hunt them rather than getting a mystery gift handed them and an OT, it's not even my OT, to be like kind of lame compared to being able to actually shiny hunt them myself. Although, at this point, I don't think it's going to be a matter that actually is like something we see anyway. They may not even bother releasing the shiny lock. I know they didn't really... I don't think they properly did that with Gen 7. They just did like a select giveaway that only a few people could get for the shiny forms, which is really annoying. I mean, I guess they might... Maybe they'll do something if they release, like, the Gen 4 remakes. They might potentially release the shiny locks if they're available in that, potentially. But, I mean, I don't expect that's going to happen. Also, there's the fact there's probably going to be a Let's Go Johto, and I feel like if they do a Let's Go Johto, there's a good possibility the fact they'll probably bring in a lot of the new Galarian forms, and that means there's probably potential that the Galarian birds would be available. I don't know exactly how they would implement them all, though. Actually, on that same note, though, thinking about it, like, I do wonder if they put up, like, a Let's Go for, like, Gold and Silver, if they're going to potentially put, like, a release on the shiny locks for the Galarian birds and let you shiny hunt them through that. I would assume they have to have, if they did, they'd have to have some, like, encounter you can find them through in the game. Whereas in Let's Go, like, Eevee and Pikachu, you get all your Alolan forms through NPCs. It's like, no, it doesn't make sense for an NPC to be carrying around fucking legendary birds, whether or not they're regional variants or not. It's like, they're gonna have to put, like, an encounter for them somewhere. It'd be too bizarre to see some NPC that offers to trade you, like, the Kanto forms for the Galarian forms. I definitely would like to shiny hunt them if there's an option in the future, though. That'd be really fun, actually, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit slow, but that could be something that'd be really worth it. Speaking of Let's Go, I need to go back to that game sometime. I haven't found, like, a good point where I've been feeling up to it, but I've been trying to work on a shiny living dex in Let's Go, and I've gotten fairly far into it, and I've been on it for, like, a year or two, but I've been not taking it super fast because of sometimes having, like, lack of motivation on top of that. If there's a matter of, like, Joy-Con drift getting in the way and causing me problems. I've been meaning to shiny hunt like the rest of me doing my living deck since I've done it mostly off-stream. I wanted to finish my living decks on-stream, though. Gold and Silver remake would be actually cool. Yeah, I agree with that. I want that really bad. Gen 2 is my favorite generation, and I both love Gen 2 and the, like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver are like they're great games. I found the remakes there were really good, but I feel like another Let's Go game is very likely, and frankly, the chance to remake it again would be something that'd be a wasted opportunity to not do. They have Kanto ready. It wouldn't be too hard to sit there, take, like, some of these Galarian forms and drop them in, and then put in, like, all the Pokemon from Gen 2 and give you access to the original, like, 251 or so Pokemon available in Gen 2, and basically make it the same as what they did with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and, like, give you the whole thing of like getting the on-screen Pokemon again, chance to have mountable Pokemon, also give you like shinies that you can see in the overworld, those kind of things, bring back everything that was from Let's Go that people loved and drop it into a remake of this. I know they had some of that in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They didn't have the overworld Pokemon and like the shiny these in the overworld. I mean, when I say overworld Pokemon, I'm referring to the encounters, not the Pokemon that follow you. Those are following Pokemon, but I would like to see them remake it and see it in HD and 3D like how they did with Let's Go. I think it'd be a good time. It would also probably make things a little bit better for some of the shiny hunting in those games too, because as far as I can tell, and I think I'm right about this, like in terms of like actually shiny hunting in a Gen 2 base game, like there's no actual opportunities like good shiny odds. Both the chances you can get are like I think it's 1 in 4,000-ish maybe, and Heart Gold Soul Silver might have been 8,000, but like I think the shiny odds aren't much different between like the originals and Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and it'd be nice to have the option to do these Johto hunts and actual decent shiny odds. I know the original had like really good egg odds if you had a shiny Pokemon to breed with, but I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of in shiny hunting that's not really that challenging. And even then, that requires you find a shiny Ditto first. Plus, I can imagine it would be so cool getting to play the game. Imagine you get to do the part with the roamers, you go and release them, and then and you see like a shiny Raikou or Entei pop up in the overworld, and you can go catch it. That would be fucking insane to do that, if you could chase the roamers that way and try to catch them that way. I'd be really down for that. It does remind me of one slight complaint, though, that I had with Let's Go, and I don't know if they would change it for Gen 2, but like I hate how Let's Go has, not only, like it lets you get every Pokemon, but I hate how when it comes to like the shiny living dex, you're not allowed to get Mew for shiny living dex. You can't have a shiny Mew in Let's Go because they not only do they not let you transfer it from they don't let you transfer it from Go, but also there's like no opportunity to get Mew in game outside of Pokeball Plus, and Pokeball Plus is obviously shiny locked, because not shiny locking that would be a stupid idea, but it's like there's something infuriating about looking at that Pokédex, looking at all the stuff you can collect, and then noticing the one Pokemon you can't get is Mew, and it's the only Pokemon in the whole Pokédex that's impossible to have in shiny of. Literally everything else is obtainable, and then Mew is just unobtainable. So that kind of hurts to see, honestly. I know they're putting like a shiny Mew in Pokemon Ghost sometime soon, but I'm willing to bet there's like no chance of them actually releasing the transfer lock on Mew. It'd be good if they did, though. I doubt they ever will, though. Ugh. Actually, in terms of another thing I'd like to see, and I don't think it's going to happen, like another thing on Pokemon I would really prefer, I'd like to see them continue with like another game based on like the Coliseum and XD stuff, like another game where Shadow Pokemon are the focus. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. If it did, I would be very, very excited, though. It'd be nice to see them finally make a new one if they decided to. Pokemon Coliseum was pretty good, in my opinion. Probably one of the better, like, 3D Pokemon games, and it was also a unique take on it. Like, Stadium and Stadium 2 were good, but they were literally just a way to see your Pokemon in 3D and not really much else to them. Coliseum had a great story, in my opinion, and was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed the whole Shadow Pokemon thing. It was really, really well fleshed out and really, really fun to do, and I'd like to see them come back with that again. XD had a good storyline too, and frankly, I feel like they did even better with it. They made the Shadow Pokemon feel like they had more purpose and made the game really, really interesting. And they never touched on this ever again. They made Shadow Pokemon a thing in Pokemon Go, and they're kind of not as great as they are in Pokemon Coliseum and XD, and it's like, I want to see that come back. Whether it be through a remake or like a new version of those games, or not a new version, like a new like game like those two, like another third game or whatever for that would be good either way, no matter what they choose to do. But I'd like to see that come back. I don't know, maybe they could start by remaking Pokemon Coliseum, and then if people have interest and end up buying it up, they could do like a proper sequel to XD, and they could make a new one. That'd be what I would hope for. It's not bad enough they decided to make that whole Shadow Mewtwo thing in Pokken, though, so now they basically tease the idea that Shadow Pokemon are still around, but they won't commit to the idea of making a new Coliseum-type game, and it's like, that kind of sucks in my opinion. Fucking why even make Shadow Mewtwo a thing if you're not going to do anything with it? Oh well. Ugh. Give me a second. I'm moving because I'm sitting at a spot where my back's bothering me a little bit. Oops, shit. I don't know why I fucking wasn't paying attention. Of course, I fucking accidentally hit to use an attack. Actually, I've mentioned it on stream before. I feel like they have plenty of potential for good stuff with Pokemon, like spin-offs to come back and get more Pokemon spin-offs. I feel like they don't touch basis on their spin-offs and use them enough. There's some good ones in there, and there's some that are kind of not that great, but I mean, I feel like they could totally bring back a lot of their better spin-offs and really utilize them more. Seeing Pokemon Snap come back after all this time, that was exciting. I'm really happy it's going to finally get a sequel. Everybody wanted Pokemon Snap to have a sequel for the longest time, and never did they do fucking anything with it after all these years, and now finally, after all this time, we get to see something, and it looks really, really good. Like, I want to see Pokemon Snap come back, or not Pokemon Snap, that's coming back. I meant to say, see more stuff come back like Pokemon Snap did. New Pokemon Snap looks good. I'm probably going to buy that day one, because I've been looking forward to the possibility of a new Pokemon Snap, and it looks fun. Hopefully they continue to revive some of their IP they haven't... I mean, IP, some of their spin-offs they haven't used at all. Like Mystery Dungeon. I remember I played it back in the day quite a bit. I only ever played, like, the first two properly, like the Game Boy one, and then the DS one they made, like, sometime after I played those, and I haven't played any of the other ones after that properly, so I didn't get the experience of playing much of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series. I enjoyed what I played, though, so I can say it was alright, but I've not checked out the remake. I mean, maybe if it has a price drop, I'll play it at one point. Wouldn't mind seeing more of it, though. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is good. I've heard that the Mystery Dungeon remake may have been like a thing that was in development on 3DS and then moved over to Switch over like the fact they decided to do it for time constraints. Obviously, it's all based on rumors, but it's based on like a thing about somebody leaking something supposedly suggesting like a bunch of like plans Nintendo has had for like the next few years or whatever, with like several things that are supposedly supposed to come out, and I think most of the things on the list actually came out and got released, and Mystery Dungeon was right on there, on that list of games that was gonna be released and got moved over to the Switch. I don't remember what all it was. I'd have to double check what the name of the leak was to see what it said. Actually, where was I talking about? Like, I still have that stuff. I think I mentioned Metroid as well and some other stuff. And also mentions like a remake of another Fire Emblem game being made, and how they supposedly moved an 3DS Fire Emblem game over to Switch to remake, which, funny enough, I recall an interview from Nintendo some time ago, or even though there hasn't been like another Fire Emblem game since Three Houses yet, like they talked about how they considered moving a Fire Emblem game from 3DS, like a remake, onto Switch, basically confirming that, yeah, there's been, and like, that part of the rumor is probably true, and that we may actually see another remake of another Fire Emblem get, like, really, really soon, and then it might just end up confirming that part of the rumor as well. Like, most of the stuff has already been proven true. There's been quite a bit on there. Like I said, I have to go look and see what it all said for confirming it, but there's quite a lot of interesting stuff that was on this rumored list. We played Super Mystery Dungeon games. I haven't played Super because I haven't. It just seemed like a odd game, and I heard people saying it wasn't as good as the old one, so I never bothered to look into it. I didn't think it looked bad, but I didn't really care. When people started saying it wasn't that great, I ended up not bothering to pick it up. It was like, I wanted to, but after playing, I think I got Blu-ray, was it Blue? Whatever, I think at the DS one, I got like the original back in the day, and I got, I think, Explorers of Darkness on my DS, and I enjoyed those games. And then when people started saying, oh yeah, the newer ones aren't as good as the old ones, it was like, okay, I guess I won't bother buying them. I might as well save my money up. I'm only able to get games every now and then, so I'm not going to throw away money at games I'm not certain of. I don't know, I never really played any of the other ones outside of those. I know there's been like 3 others. I remember there was like a WiiWare exclusive one, but I heard the WiiWare one is kind of bad because it hasn't got a very good story, and it's not only that, it's like really short and not that interesting. And it was Japanese exclusive, so not really any loss that it didn't come out in English. I mean, for playing it and checking it out, it might be good, but it doesn't seem like an amazing game from the sound of things. Another Pokemon series that I'm surprised hasn't been revived. I don't know if I would care to play it or not if they did revive it. Was like, I remember playing Pokemon Ranger on DS, and that was an interesting series. And the only problem I have with Pokemon Ranger had some fucking shit controls no matter how I look at it. People talk about how much they like the game, and it's like, okay, cool, you can defend Ranger, you can talk about how much you like it, but no matter how I look at it, how can you defend a game that actively encourages you to not, like, draw circles on the DS screen, and it makes you fucking go at it really hard, fucking really trying to, like, really quickly, like, do the shit where you're drawing the circles, basically ensuring that if you play this game, you are going to scratch the ever-living shit out of your DS screen. It's like, as much as I find the games pretty neat and to be alright gameplay-wise, not only are they hard, they fuck up your touchscreen. It's like, how do you justify that kind of game? If it wasn't for the fact they encouraged you to destroy your DS touchscreen, maybe I could, like, understand. But that part of it makes it a little hard to want to go back to the series. They're fun games, but yeah, unless they work out the fucking controls and make it less destructive, then yeah, I don't think I'm going to look into it. If they made one on the Switch, you better believe I'm not going to buy it unless they fucking reinvent the touch controls or even reinvent the controls in general. So I'm not going to pick up a stylus and destroy my Switch screen the way the DS games asked me to. It's like, I don't want to do that. I'd find that to be a very dumb part of those games. I'm sure they could come up with a new control scheme. The games were good outside of that problem. They definitely had some difficulty issues, though. They weren't very easy to play. I think a lot of people who bought it, Ranger, actually bought it just for the sake of getting Manaphy, though. I wouldn't exactly be upset if they didn't bring Pokemon Ranger back. Pokemon Ranger was one of those series it was cool, but I don't think a lot of people are, like, necessarily, like, too interested in seeing it get revived. It was agreed upon to be a good series, but I don't think it needs a revival like some of the other Pokemon series do. Let's see, what else? Some other big ones. I think they're, like, a lot of the ones I enjoy are, like, unfortunately one-offs that have been, like, made as spin-offs. There have been some other good ones. I've never played the Pokepark stuff, and I hear people talk about it being good, but I've never played it. It sounds fun. It looks like an alright experience. I feel like Pokemon's probably getting another game at some point. I feel like they're probably experimenting with the idea of playing with, like, a Pokemon 2 they're going to release on Switch or something probably at some point. I don't know. I can see that happening. Let's see. Played a little Pokemon Rangers. I'm not that surprised. Pokemon Rangers is not the most popular sub-series when it comes to Pokemon. Oh, let's see, what else? What was I mentioning? Oh yeah, I was going to say a Pokemon channel was something I really enjoyed back in the day. Pokemon channel was really good. It seemed like a one-off, and I don't think they've done anything with the concept again. But I loved the idea. It was just a goofy game. It was like, oh yeah, you watch TV with the Pikachu, and you sit around watching, like, all these little programs that Nintendo and Game Freak kind of made up on the spot and like made for you to sit around and watch. It was goofy. It was meant to be a little bit of entertainment. It's stupid, but it's also kind of fun to mess around with. It was a decent game. It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like the gameplay was anything reveling, since it's literally watch TV and fake TV at that, but it was actually an alright game concept. I actually like Pokemon Channel quite a bit. Kind of miss it. Also, it had that silly little Peachy Bros anime thing in that, and that was fun to watch when I watched it. It was a good game. I wish they would consider doing another one of those, maybe. It was just fun to mess around with. I would actually be totally down for a Pokemon Channel 2 at some point. Seemed like a decent game, honestly. Let's see. I think Pokemon Channel would technically qualify as like a sequel to Hey You Pikachu, which I gotta be honest, if I'm talking on Pokemon sequels, and there's anything that I don't think I ever want to see get a fucking actual sequel, fucking please, just let Hey You Pikachu fucking rot. That game is not very good. I remember playing that game and trying to like it back in the day. It had a decent concept, but by God was that game awful. Pikachu doesn't listen to you. The gameplay is definitely frustrating. It's kind of weird too, and not super fun. It's like, it feels like the Pikachu AI is kind of stupid, and also it doesn't really listen to what you say very well. Also, it like is short-tempered and fucking tries to electrocute you at like every opportunity it gets if you piss it off. It's annoying to sit there and deal with the Pikachu. It's weird. The game is, it's like it has potential to be really fun, except it doesn't really work super well. Also, the activities they give you to Pikachu were absolutely not that great. It's really funny how I can compare this and Pokemon Channel, and then when I compare them, I remember Pokemon Channel more fondly, because at least in Pokemon Channel, the game was alright. It felt like a decent time to mess around with. Even though Hey You Pikachu had more to actually do with it, it still managed to be an absolutely terrible video game that wasn't very satisfying. I think part of it might have had to do with the N64 microphone they gave you weren't really that great. Like, I remember the microphone was kind of low quality and didn't really work super well. Ever played Hey You Pikachu? I heard the mic was for louder voices. Yeah, I don't really know all the details, but I just know the game wasn't very great because I played it and it was frustrating. I think I remember me and my older brother playing it and both getting frustrated because Pikachu didn't listen to what you said very well. Also, I don't remember if it was true or not, but I'm pretty sure if you said like Sony or something like Sony is better than Nintendo on the microphone, Pikachu would like pick up on it and get really angry and electrocute you. Really stupid little Easter egg, but also kind of funny at the same time. Oh gosh. Let's see. I guess there's only one other like immediate one I can think of. There's still some good ones. I mentioned Pokemon Conquest before. I want to check that out. I hear it's good, and I've heard so many who's like played it say it's like Fire Emblem. I want to check that out one day. Maybe getting a sequel to it would be cool if they decide to. That's another thing I'd like to see. That's not the spin-off I was going to mention. Pokemon Conquest seems like a good game. Maybe I'll live stream Pokemon Conquest at some point. It seems like a decent spin-off that never really got to have a lot of recognition. They didn't do anything more than the initial spin-off with it. Also a really, really neat crossover game they did. And I would love to see what they could do if they made another one, frankly. Let's see, the other one I was thinking of is really, really simple to mention, though. The last game I can think of that's, like, relevant for Pokemon and spin-offs that I remember is Pokemon Trading Card Game. That's actually a really fun one, honestly. The trading card game on the GB, or not, it's like GBA, but I'm saying the Game Boy. It's on Game Boy Color. That's actually a very, very fun time. I've got to say, like, I remember replaying it recently, and also, like, I played it on Game Boy when I found it in, like, a shop for used games and bought it there. Like, what a game. Just for, like, a little spin-off where they worked on it. It has so much charm and it is really fun. It almost feels like a mainline Pokemon game. Like the whole idea of you going around collecting medallions works well. The whole card concept, how you're using your cards, is really thought out and works really well. And it genuinely is fun. Also, the music in the game is absolutely really catchy. It is very, very good. I enjoyed playing through it. I think they had, like, not that many types. They had, like, less than they actually did in Gen 1, so that was a little bit of a downer in that part of the game. But outside of that, the game was really, really good. Really, really strong, and I found that it was a very, very fantastic game overall. In fact, I replayed it and did, like, a live stream of the whole thing on my YouTube at some point, and I've got to say I enjoyed replaying it. It's absolutely fantastic. I think they made a sequel to it, but it was Japanese only. Also, unfortunately, it was still more of Gen 1 stuff, and they didn't have any Gen 2 stuff in it, so even though it was kind of good looking, it didn't really have a lot of extra stuff that was, like, hugely adding on to it. I need to play that at some point and check out the second trading card game and see how good it is. Honestly, I'm disappointed they never did anything with Pokemon trading card game more than they did. Like, the actual trading card game, like, everybody knows about what Pokemon trading card game is, and they've probably, like, a lot of people opened up the packs or whatever and maybe messed around with it a little bit. I don't care about that too much, but the video game was very, very good. And I want to see a sequel to it, a proper big sequel at some point. They should have done one if you ask me, because it was really fun, and it's honestly a crying shame they never really tried to do anything with it. They had a chance to make it very, very deep and make a lot of more interesting stuff, and they never bothered. It was just the 2 games with Gen 1 Pokemon cards in them. And nowadays, if they did it, they could probably add a lot more. There's so many more Pokemon now, and there's 3 more new typings to add in. They can properly factor in all the typings. I could only imagine how good a modern version of the Pokemon trading card game would be if they made a new video game for it. That would be incredible. I imagine they could do a lot of cool stuff with it. I hope they consider it one day. I really like Pokemon trading card game on Game Boy Color, and I want to play it. We're going to play a sequel to it again one day. If they can get a sequel for Pokemon Snap, surely somebody at Nintendo or Game Freak can consider and like bring up the possibility of making another Pokemon trading card video game. Surely. I know there's like an online game, but that's not really the same, and it doesn't have the same focus or the same kind of thing I'm talking about when it comes to how the Game Boy game was. Like, that game was special. I want to see something like that come out again. I want to see what they do with like another game like that in the series. Hopefully it'll happen one day. Oh man, I'm certain. I only wouldn't hope it'll happen one day at least. I guess that's all I can think of to talk about on the spin-off topic. I mean, certainly a good group of Pokemon spin-offs. There's not really a lot of other ones that I can even think of. I know there's like a typing one or whatever, but that's all I can remember. Give me a second. We'll see what else I want to talk about in a minute. Let's see here. Okay, here's another topic for a little bit. I talked about remakes a little bit earlier, and I think I brought this up on another stream, but I don't mind bringing this up again. It's a good topic to just discuss with people whenever. What are some game remakes you guys would want to see in, like, the future? I always find this to be a fun discussion topic, talking about what kind of stuff people want to see for remakes, because there's really no wrong answer. There's a lot of good things that can be remade, and there's a lot of games that deserve to get remakes. Frankly, I want to see, like, this isn't just Pokemon. I was going to talk about Pokemon because I talked about it earlier, and I think I've already talked about what I wanted in remakes, but, like, I want to see Pikmin get some remakes. It's like Pikmin 1 and 2. I think Pikmin 1 and 2 deserve to be able to be remade with, like, the engine that Pikmin 3 has. I wanted to see what they could do with an AI from that game. Also, give them a graphical upgrade and give them some of the, like, changes they made to like, Pikmin 3. I think that'd be a really, really great idea to give those games all those, like, little customizations, or ain't customizations, just give them, like, extra little bonuses to make them feel up to par with Pikmin 3. make the games feel better. Those are some good games. A lot of people deserve the chance to play more Pikmin because it's not been very popular, excuse me. I'd love to see those games get a little bit of love. I know Zelda gets like yearly remakes, so I know we're probably going to get one by next year, I would assume. I don't know. I almost thought we were going to get one this year, and they didn't get anything. I wonder what they're working on next. They did like Link's Awakening for like last year's. I kind of want them to do Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages for like a remake next. Like maybe they could bundle them together, hopefully. That'd be really cool to see them do that. Zelda remakes aren't always amazing. They're pretty good overall. It's better than what they did with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, at least. Also, when we're on the topic of good remakes, another good remake to talk about. Fucking, oh my god, even though it's happened so long ago, the original Super Mario All-Stars is such a good remake. They did such a good job with it. They put in, like, so much effort. They redid the music a little bit. They redid the graphics. They made like, some customization options by adding in, like, saving and other quality of life features to the games. And then they also added, like, lost levels to the games. And they made, like, pretty much a huge collection of, like, all these Mario games. Like, it's a very, very good remake and a good collection. And honestly, when you compare it to, like, how 3D All-Stars is, it's higher quality, honestly. Very, very good remake, in my opinion. I genuinely want to see more remakes. Hopefully stuff that's that quality at some point. They got a lot of remakes. They got Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time on 3DS. Yeah, I've played both those. I kind of wish they'd waited until Switch now so they could have done them in HD, but oh well, whatever. Not really a big deal. Would have been nice to see them be remade on a home console or made on HD software so they could actually get a graphical facelift, but not really a big deal. I mean, if you look at how they handled the Twilight Princess remake, it's possible they wouldn't have really done much to make them look better graphically in the first place, so there's that. Hopefully we'll see some better ones. I know Fire Emblem, like they did that remake of the second Fire Emblem game last year. I hope they keep doing the Fire Emblem remakes. They make some good ones there, because those have potential to be really good. Fire Emblem's a great series, and I'd like to play more of Fire Emblem. I don't really love the series like some people do, but Fire Emblem's overall pretty fun, so I'd like to play Fire Emblem and get more into it than what I have, so I'd like to play more of those games. Let me check my Pokédex. I think we're at a stopping point. I'm sure there are some good remakes to look forward to in the future, and I know there's Final Fantasy VII Remake. Unfortunately, I don't have a PlayStation 4 to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on, so I can't actually check it out and see how good it is. I know they only did, like, the beginning bit of, like, Midgar or whatever, but seeing the second part of it will be really cool. I've watched a lot of streams of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it looked really, really good, so, I mean, I'd like to see exactly what they do with the rest of it. Hopefully it'll be good. Okay, I'm gonna light this up really quick, and then I'm gonna stop after this, because I was going to do 200 encounters tonight, and that was going to be my goal for tonight. After that, I was basically planning to stop, so I'm just going to save by the statue. Unfortunate, because that means we still don't have the shiny yet, and by tomorrow, we will definitely be over odds. I don't know how my plans are going to go tomorrow, because I'd like to do another game tomorrow instead of doing Pokemon, and I'm going to do probably a little bit of shiny hunting in the morning, and hopefully we can get the shiny Regice, but we'll see what happens, and got some other stuff I want to do later in the day. I'll figure out how the stream's going to go later on, see what's going, and I guess I'll update you guys. Anyway, I am done for tonight, and I hope you guys have a great day or night. I'm going to be tuning out for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, hopefully. Bye, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching.